on Instagram, third live Instagram ever, and I'm live on the Facebook, it appears. So I know if y'all thinking you ain't seen me in a minute, but I've been around. I just ain't been live in a minute, and so I felt compelled to go live today. So I thought I'd come on and share a word with the people real quick. And if you're popping in, say hey. Let me go in and make sure that all of my settings are right and that y'all can hear me and whatnot. If you cannot hear me, or if someone pops in, introduce yourself. Tell me who you are, where you're from. There we go. I'm gonna edit the privacy so that other people can see this as they so desire. But anyway, I guess I can get started because it appears that I'm live. My name is Rhonda Gipson-Willis. I'm your favorite dream pusher. I'm a licensed therapist, certified coach. I'm a corporate trainer. I'm also something else. Oh, I'm a motivational speaker, y'all. I speak and I move the people when I speak because those are the gifts that the good Lord has given to me. Hey, lady. So for those of you who are coming in, and if you're streaming through a group, one of the groups, when you comment, I can't see your name. It'll say Facebook user. So let me know who you are as you're coming in and saying, hey. Let me know who you are and your state that you're coming in from. But anyway, so I wanted to come in today. Well, let me adjust the privacy. I want to come in today and talk about something that I thought about. And you know, with me, excuse me while I'm looking down, I'm a multitask at the same time, but I've been known to have these random thoughts, right? And these random thoughts that I have, oftentimes, from what I hear from people, are things that they need to hear. You know, when I do I don't know who needs to hear this is, I don't know who needs to hear this is. And so the random thought I had today was, what if you just played your position? Hey, Ramel from down the street. What if you just played your position? That was the random thought I had today. What if you just played your position? And so as I thought about that, I thought, okay, so playing the position, right? We know playing our position. Have you ever played a game with someone? Have you ever played a game with someone? I don't know if any of you are sports people. Hey, Lisa, is that you, Broken to Birth? I don't know if any of you have ever played sports. And I'm not going to lie. I lettered in band in high school. I had a very short stint as a basketball player in 7th and 8th grade. But, you know, due to my height deficits and lack of hand-eye coordination at the time, that didn't really work out so well. But what I do remember from that is that we all have positions, right? We all have positions. Hey, Lisa. So as I believe I don't know what I was, but let's pretend that I was a point guard, right? Let's pretend, because they usually put the little scrappy ones in as a point guard. So let's pretend that I was a point guard. I'm on this team, right? And let's say we have the team that's being put together, but you know what? I'm about to take this whole analogy a whole nother place. I don't know how many of you know, but I'm a graduate of Jackson State University. I'm channeling my inner TJ Mercer. You know, she is always letting you know that she is a graduate of the distinctive, the Howard University, right? I'm a graduate of the Jackson State University, who has just acquired over this last season, Coach Prime, Deion Sanders as our football coach, right? Deion Sanders is our football coach. And what's happened with Deion Sanders coming to Jackson State University as a football coach is that it's taken notice to a lot of people who otherwise might not have thought of playing at a historically Black college university, because they didn't believe perhaps that the pipeline to the NFL was as strong. Are you following me here? They may not have believed, but when Deion Sanders came, and Deion Sanders has not only a name, but a reputation, and Deion Sanders has connections. Oh yeah, follow me, keep following me. Deion Sanders has connections that can allow them to be seen in levels and play at a level that they might not otherwise been able to play at. He's drawing a different level of talent to his team. Now, that's not to disparage the talent that was there before, but that's to definitely say that this team is going to get more attention. Are y'all following me? Are y'all following me? Stick around, because you know it's going to go places. So Deion Sanders has, there's all these positions on the football team, and I'm really about to mess some stuff up right now because I don't really know. I know they have linebackers, they have wide receivers, they have, is it a fullback or a tailback? They have the quarterback, they have the humpback, they have the LMNOP, they have all these specific positions. They have defense, they have offense, because you have to have people who are equipped and single-minded in their position in order to run the plays effectively. Are y'all following me here? You have to be equipped. And you not only, I imagine that there are certain people that they put in certain positions. Like, you have to have a certain level of talent to go in these positions. I don't know why I can't edit the privacy, but if you guys, you might want to share this because it's coming. You might want to share this. You have to have the people, right? So if I'm going to be a fullback, what's the one, a linebacker, right? I'll tell you about a linebacker, and I know about, because they say, oh, he was built like a linebacker. I don't know what a linebacker does. I don't know, but I know that if you are a coach and you know how the game can be played so the game can be won, you know what you're looking for in each of those positions. So for the linebacker, you're looking for a certain amount of girth, right? They need to be big. They need to be of a certain size to be able to stop something. For a quarterback, you need somebody who knows how to throw with accuracy, right? Who knows how to throw with accuracy, right? And so there are things that from the time that you will see these children as football players, they are being groomed for their position. And maybe someone took a look at them and went, wow, okay, so that kid right there, he's really fast. Or this kid right here, he could really pack a punch. Or this kid right here, he's got great hands. He can catch. And then they start to groom them for their positions, right? They groom them. And a good coach can look at you and go. They can look at you and go, that's the position. That right there is the kid that can play this position on this team, so that the strategy that I have for the plays that I call can be effective. The strategy that I have, oops, I didn't turn myself up. The strategy that I have for the plays that I call can be effective. So again, your girl don't really know a whole lot about football, but your girl knows a lot about life. Your girl knows a lot about purpose. Your girl knows a lot about playing her position. Hey, Jennifer. Hey, Kate, I see you. Hi, Linda. Thank you. Thank you. She knows a lot, but I wonder, right? I wonder what would happen if you just played your position. Here's the truth of the matter. Here's the truth of the matter. Each of us were born with purpose. Each of us were born with what we need to be equipped to run the play according to our purpose. You were built to be positioned to play in the game. So I started thinking, right? I started thinking because there are some people who are very intentional about living on purpose. There are some people who are very intentional about understanding their purpose. There are some people who are very committed to their purpose outside of what it was that the world told you that you should do. Because see, your purpose didn't come from man. I don't mean to get all preachy on the people, but your purpose didn't come from man. You know that, right? Your purpose didn't come from man. Man has likely exploited your purpose for capitalistic gain. Man has likely diminished your purpose to serve their ego. Man has likely done everything they could to hope that you would forget your purpose so that you wouldn't stand up in the full power of who it was you were created to be. But what man didn't do is give you your purpose. Man did not give you your purpose. Therefore, man cannot take it away. But what can happen is you can forget your purpose ever existed. You can forget that you even have one. You can diminish that it even matters. You can refuse to show up to practice, to develop the skills, to develop the fortitude, to develop the stamina, to develop your talents so that you can be useful in the game. Am I making sense, anybody? Am I making sense? Because I just want to come on and talk to the people. I want to come on and talk to the people. I want to share the word. I want to share the word with the people. And so I'm wondering, I want you to ask that question. What would my life look like if I played full out? If I played my position full out as I was purposed to? Now, I don't know if you've ever, as a sports person, right? So how many of you play sports? If you play sports, say, yeah, I play sports. And I know there's not a lot of people on this viewing, but if you come on the replay, let me know. Let me know. So how many of you ever played sports and you've had that position? You've had that position that you played, that you've trained for, that on your off time, you are practicing in your backyard, that you are building up your muscles to do, and you get to the game and your coach moves you into a different position. How do you feel? Most of us start to feel unsure, right? Most of us start to there's a bit of a learning curve. I don't feel at home in this spot. I don't feel at home as a shortstop when I used to play first base. I don't feel at home right here. I'll give you an example. So my daughter, my knee baby, she's my third child, Janae, she played collegiate soccer. Yes, it's difficult to pivot. Who are you saying difficult to pivot? Because you're in one of my groups. It's difficult to pivot. She was a goalie, right? She was a goalie, and she was really good at it. Really good, like 5'3", but she had hops, y'all. She had hops, and she would dive and she would go for it, right? Like despite the fact that she was shorter than most goalies, her coaches saw something in her. She started every game. Hey, Denise, she would go for it. Well, apparently there was a game where she had to run up and down the field, and she had done that before because she didn't start goaling until she was in 10th grade. And she was like, woo, right? In the one area, she's a star, right? They were calling her the female Tim Howard, I believe, is a goalie who really goes for it. Like, she would go for it. In the stands, I would love to hear people like, yes, Janae, woo, goalie, go, you go, goalie, right? Like people, but when she was outside of her goalie duties and playing another position, she felt like a fish out of water. She wasn't as effective. She wasn't as confident. She wasn't as competent. And I'm here to tell you, some of you, the reason you feel the way that you feel in your life is because you play in the wrong position. You play in the wrong position. You play in the wrong position. So what would it look like if you played your position? The position you were purposed for. The position you were created for. What would that look like for you? Now here's the bigger question, because it's not just about us, right? It's not just about us. what would that look like for the world? Can you imagine if we all played our positions? If we all showed up using the gifts and the talents that we've been given in the way that we've been purposed to use them? And we did it without apology. We did it without fear. And we did it without trepidation. And we did it without excuses. And we did it without the interference of the justification of what this world says is success. Because don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. Hey, Tony, I see you on IG. Don't get it twisted. This world has a reason for undermining your purpose. This world benefits when you don't live as you were built to. This world benefits when it can cause you, and I'm not talking about the world in general, I'm talking about the world benefits when it can say to you, that thing you got, it doesn't even matter. That thing you got is not a big enough deal for you to show up. That thing you got is not big enough for you to fight for. That thing you got is not even big enough to remember who you are. Your gift is not as significant as his gift, her gift, their gift. You don't speak as well, sing as well, preach as well. Right, Lisa? But what would happen if you worried about playing your position and serving the people who were assigned to you? Serving the people who were assigned to you and not worrying about who you think can do it better. What do you think would happen then? Y'all can start answering. What do you think would happen if we all played our position? What might that team look like? What might that team look like? And we're not just showing up on the field like, yo, I got great hands, I could catch. We are practicing. We're putting in the work. We're doing what it takes. We're committed to it. We leave the excuses behind. And I'll tell you, so you guys know I'm a therapist and I'm a coach. And coaching, I deal with a lot of fear. A lot of my clients have fear that's holding them back. And fear masquerades itself in a lot of different ways, a lot of really clever ways. Fear is really good at masking itself and making you believe that it's something else. But when you get down to the nitty gritty of it and you recognize that what it truly is fear, you understand. You know what I want to do? I want to give, if somebody wants to come on for a minute, because look, my clients canceled today and I'm feeling a little coachy. If somebody wants some online coaching on today, come through. I'm gonna put the link in the comments. All right. If you want to come in and talk to me today, we can have a coaching session, live coaching session on today, or we could just have a conversation. If you're feeling so inclined, and I've never done that before on StreamYard, so we'll see how that works. IG folks, if you want to come through, go to my Facebook page, Rhonda Gipson-Willis. You'll be able to find this live. But come through. I think the comment populated. Did y'all see the comment? If so, if you want to come in, let's come in. Let's have a discussion. But what I want to what I understand as part of my purpose is to help other people find their purpose. Oh, you know what? It posted. That's weird. It only posted to YouTube. That's really weird. So anyway, I'm gonna get the link. I'm gonna send it to my messenger, and then I'm gonna send it to you guys. So with that being said, I want to know, what does it look like for us to really, 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 really do what it is that we're supposed to do? Like, who do you think you would become if you weren't afraid of becoming who that is? Who would you become? That's a good question. Who would you become if you weren't afraid of becoming who that is? Tell me that's not a good question. Tell me that's not a good question. Who would you become? And so I know for me, I've been spending a lot of time with myself lately. I've spent a lot of time with myself, and I tend to be pretty introspective. But the thing that I've learned about myself is that there is so much for me to learn about myself. Does that make sense? The thing that I learned about myself is that there's so much to learn about myself. And so many of us believe that we already have it figured out. We believe that we know all of the things that it is that God has created us for and created us to do, and how he's created us. And here's the thing. Some of us don't know because we have not put in the time or the effort to understand who we are right now, to put in the work of developing who we are right now to get us to who we're meant to be. Did y'all catch that? You got to put in work. You got to put in work on who you are now. Oh, there's the link. You have to put in the work regarding who you are right now so that you can determine who it is that you're meant to be. Because here's what I learned about God. Here's what I learned. God is not going to promote you in your current state when you are not doing the work. He's not going to do it. God is not going to promote you in your current state when you are not doing the work. Yep. So part of what was happening was some of you, right? Because you're like, okay, God, I want to live on purpose. I'm doing these things. All right, I'm about to put the link in the comments on my main page. All right. God, I'm doing the things I'm supposed to do. Why am I not moving? Why am I not doing the things that I see other people doing? Other folks are progressing further than I am, Lord. Other people are doing things that I want to do. Why aren't you blessing me the way you blessing them? And the thing that you got to realize is that God will work out some things in your character. If there are some things in your character that need to be worked out. Ask me how I know. Ask me how I know. See, I understand the purpose that God has on my life is much bigger than what I can either fathom. Like I've seen big things for me. Hey, Lisa's coming through. I'm about to add the cuz to the stream. But I know that there's bigger for me. But because I see myself and I see myself so much smaller than that space, there's some things that God has to work out in all of us. So yes. Hey, Lisa.
Hi. How are you?
Hey.
Trying to work at the same time listening to you.
You trying to work. What brings you on, child? What brings you on? I'm glad you came on in.
I saw you pop up on my screen while I was working on my work computer. And I always like to listen to you speak, so I thought I could hear and work at the same time.
Okay. Well, then you in the guest speak. You on the live, so let's talk.
Okay.
Let's talk. Listen. So when I talked about living in purpose, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you gotta go, I understand you gotta go. But I remember there was a time when you were hiding. You still kind of hide it. I can see it, right? I can see it. You still kind of hide it, but you know what I've seen? I've seen you show up. I've seen you show up consistently. And I remember we had a conversation this one time, right?
Yeah.
It was I'll tell you what happened when you live in your purpose, right? Because the type of conversation we had, and if you want to share some of it with the folks, you can. I can give them the abbreviated version. But the type of conversation that we had is a conversation where I had just started to really get really bold about calling people out. Calling people out on their shrinking when they had so much more in them, and I had seen it. Even though you tried to hide it, I had seen it. And so I don't know if you want to tell the people a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Okay.
And even if you want to share some of that, because.
Okay, so if I make no mistake, I think it was maybe a year and a half ago when our aunt passed away, and I rode with you all to the gravesite, not knowing that God had ordained that moment and that time. Now, I'm trying not to get emotional, especially people looking at me, but it's still so fresh. And I'll never forget sitting in that back seat. I don't even know how we got on the conversation, but just sitting in that back seat and listening, it was like I felt like you were inside of me, just reading me like a piece of paper. And so I was just stunned. But one thing that you said that really sticks with me today that often comes to mind is that you made a statement and said that my ego was in the way. Ooh. That I was full of ego. Yeah. And I remember saying to myself, I didn't say it out loud, but I said to myself, what the world is she talking about? Ego's not in the way. But once you broke it down to me and you said, what I want you to understand is ego is edging God out. And when you edge God out of what he's trying to do, then in my mind, I became an idol in God's place. And that broke me down because so to kind of help the people to understand, I'm just Lisa, but God called me to become a teacher of his word. And in doing that, I have found that is the passion he put in me. In the midst of doing that, back in August of 2017, it was during one of the most tragic experiences of my life. I was going through a divorce and I was in a really dark place, and God began to minister to me about what he wanted me to do. And that's how Broken to Birth came about. So since I last probably talked to you back in December of last year, God transitioned me again. So not just from being a teacher, but now a licensed evangelist. And so I'm like, well, I don't even understand why, because that's nothing that I ever wanted. But because I took the things that you said, calling me out of my ego, at first I was in denial because I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. But after I got home and I really got to thinking about it and I prayed about it, I'm like, Lord, your word says that there should not be any other idol before you. And if I'm doing that, then kill me. I gotta die. And I've learned that I had to divorce myself from myself. Yeah. When you want to live on purpose, you have to divorce yourself daily. Divorce yourself from what you want to do, how you want to do it, in the way that you think that it should be done. Now, I must say that in the process of me doing that, I have to die to myself daily. There's
Oops, did she freeze or did I freeze? We froze, stay there. We froze. Oh, we froze, guys. We froze.
Okay, there it is.
All right, we froze. All right, you said you have to die to yourself daily, and then it froze. All right.
So as I do that daily through prayer and like acknowledging the fact that I realize I can't go this journey alone. You say I show up every day, and I do, but it's difficult. I have to do it afraid. And that's what
Yeah.
I'm learning to do, is no matter how afraid I am of being in front of people, I have to do it anyway. I have lost friends along the way in the past year. I have battling now people taking what God has given me and using it for their own. And it's a very troubling thing. But at the end of the day, I had to tell myself just yesterday, just last night, God gave me an assignment. And I have got to walk that assignment out no matter what happens. And at the end of the day, I have to keep telling myself that, you know, persecution is going to come, whether you're, you know, serving your assignment, your purpose in the marketplace, in ministry, in your neighborhood, no matter where it is, you have a work to do. And no matter what comes against you, the purpose that he placed in us is that we may persevere.
Yes. Girl, you preaching the whole word. You preaching the whole word. So you said something that was really important. You said, I show up every day and I do it afraid. And I do it afraid. So talk about that fear and what feeds that fear for you.
So what feeds that, honestly, I've always, I'm not as much now, but just being concerned about what other people would say about me. You know, people saying, oh, she thinks she's all that and she thinks she's better than everybody else. And that's not the case. It's just that, and you know, Rhonda, and people that are watching, when you're called to do something, God gives you a choice. He's not going to force anything on you, no matter what it is. Being a therapist or whatever, you have a choice. Either you're going to accept the assignment or you're going to deny it. You don't want it. And if you don't want it, he's not going to force it on you. But because I want to please my Father, I accepted the assignment, knowing the trouble would come, but not knowing exactly in what magnitude. And so that being afraid of what other people will say or think about me feeds my fear. Even now, just, you know, something that he keeps putting on me to do, and I put it off for over a year, and it's like, he's like, look, no more delay. No more delay.
So out yourself. What's that thing?
Oh, Lord. To put on
initial, so I know how to tap in and hold you accountable. So if you want to be, you could be as vague and general as you want to be.
Okay, but I'm gonna be real.
There is power to speaking that thing out, because you basically said, "I've done it afraid. I want to please God. I'm doing these things. I've taken some personal lumps at it, and there's something else He's put on me to do that I've been holding off on for a year."
Right.
So release that thing from here and give it power out here.
It has been on me to do a women's workshop on self-worth. And the ideas are there and the desire is there, but I'm like, sometimes I don't know what I'm afraid of. And I guess it's still that fear of being before people, that fear of, you know, having to go through hearing the talk of other people. And I know for some, they may say, well, you know, don't let that bother you. It's easier said than done, especially growing up most of my life, not having a voice. And so now that I realize that I have a voice and God has given me something to say, it doesn't mean that the fear goes away. So what I'm learning to do is not to keep praying that God take the fear away, but that he teaches me how to know him in his perfect love, because his word says that perfect love casts out all fear. But nevertheless, I think fear is necessary, because most things we won't do if we're not afraid.
Yeah. So I don't know if anybody who's watching this has ever seen you speak, because to see you speak, right, when you're on your assignment, when you're doing the work, is different than even how you wouldn't put these two people together.
No.
Because when you start speaking, right, when you start speaking, the gift takes over.
Yes.
The God takes over. And I think that that's something that, again, when I talk about ego, part of ego is also relying more on ourselves than the God that shows up when we show up. right? So in purpose, right? In purpose, I've done a lot of things that are scary. I've done a lot of things that I go, I don't know why we doing this, but I'm here, God. Okay, I'm gonna do it. I trust you. Going live today, I didn't know what it was going to be. I knew somebody was going to need to hear this. I don't know who needs to hear this. Somebody was going to need to hear this. I wanted to take a nap. I wanted to sit down and eat something. But it's in the obedience that we allow ourselves, right? When it says to empty, God, empty me of me.
Yes.
Fill me with you and allow him to do the work that allow him to call the shots.
Right.
In order for him to call the plays, we have to show up. And so the fear, right? The fear really feeds into a lot of people not doing what it is that they're assigned to do. Not doing. And what I want to say to you is, I see you. I saw you then. I see you now. I see you showing up. I see you serving the people. I see you making God proud. I see you walking in your calling. Keep doing that. So that thing that he's giving you to do, just like you trusted it to stand up and speak and sit down and speak to the people, trust it there too. If he gave it to you, he gonna give you the provision. He gonna give you the people. He gonna give you the plan. He gonna give you all of that. But you got to walk the thing out. We all do, according to how we're purposed.
I think that's another fear, is the trusting that what you need is going to be there for me. You know, I have to trust that whatever it is he's calling me to, he's going to provide what I need. Yeah. And that's scary.
Yeah. I mean, because, you know, when you talk about faith, there are levels to this faith walk, right? It's no cakewalk. There are levels to this thing, right? So there's the faith that you need to do just enough. Be like, yeah, God is good all the time. You know, the people with the nice platitudes and the, you know, Lord willing, I'll do. You know, the cute. That's like that's one level of faith, and then there's the other level of faith where you understand, like, okay, this is how God operates. Then there's the level of faith where it's like, I only need a mustard seed, but I really need an avocado-sized seed to walk this thing out, right? Yeah. Like, and so for me, part of what I make sure that I'm trying to be more and more intentional about every day is building that faith muscle. Because I tell you, the enemy is a sneaky son of a gun.
Yes.
And he knows each of our Achilles heels. He knows how to hit us. He knows where to come for us. So yeah, the faith, just keep operating that faith muscle. And the only way you do that is to keep showing up. So keep doing you. I know you at work, girl. You might need to go.
Thank you so much for allowing me to jump on.
Listen, and for the peoples, go find Lisa and go check her out. You come on every day?
Every Sunday morning on my regular Facebook page, but then every Saturday on my ministry page.
Okay, what's the name of your ministry page?
Broken to Birth. Broken, the number 2, birth, no spaces.
Y'all check her out, because you'll see the difference between someone who's walking in their flesh, in their self, not in their flesh, but as their self, like, it's just little old me. I'm not equipped to do, and then someone who's walking in faith, in their power. When you see her speak, it's a completely different experience, y'all. And all I had to do was, I peeped it one time and it was like, girl, you playing. Why are you playing? Keep playing.
Thank you so much.
People playing. I don't know how to get you out of here. I think you have to exit yourself. I don't know, Chad.
Thank you so much. Love you.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining me. You were my first guest, so you can go on record as being my first guest.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye, girl. If anybody else wants to come through, come on through. The link is there. The link is there. It's a really cool thing. Like, we can have these chats. Would you guys like to do more of these? We could do more of these chats, and we can talk to people. Who says Ramal, when it's scary, do it anyway. Yes, when it's scary, do it. And you know what? For me, the fear of doing it says, okay, I should probably really be doing it. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not going to try and talk myself out of it, because I would try and talk myself out of some things like, God, are you sure? Have you met me? Do you know me? Right? I'll be asking those asinine questions like, God, did you call the right person for this thing? Did you call the right person for this thing? Am I the only one? Am I the only one who will question that God called the right person for that thing? Is it just me? Is it just me? And so the thing about the fear is that if you're not afraid, right? If you're not afraid, you might allow yourself to feed into the hype of you and believe that you got it all together, that you don't need anybody, that you don't even need God to get this thing together. So then what would it be without the fear of going, can I really carry this thing out? Can I really do this? Y'all being kind of quiet. I don't know if I can see if I'm missing comments, but y'all being kind of quiet, but speak to me. Am I making things up? Speak to me. Speak to me. But yeah, so I want to get back to my original question of what would this world look like if you played your position? Lisa was trying to hide in the locker room. She was trying to hide, y'all. She was trying to hide, just like a lot of you are trying to hide. How might your life be different, right? Because here's what I know. As scary as it is to sometimes walk in my purpose, as scary as it is to sometimes do that thing, it's giving me the most peace. I feel the most productive. I feel the most useful. I feel the most competent. I feel the most confident when I'm walking in my purpose. It's when I allow myself to put myself in situations and play positions I was never designed to play that I start to feel otherwise. What position do you need to get back to? What position do you need to play? And what would your life look like if you were walking on purpose? So with that, y'all, that was my first Facebook Live in I don't know how long, about a month. I used to do them almost every day. I'll probably come back and talk to the people some more. It's y'all the people. Instagram, I might come on to YouTube. I don't know who was watching on IG, but you got to start somewhere. Anyway, yeah, I think that's what I have for y'all. So have a very lovely day. I don't know what today is. Is it Wednesday or Thursday? Anyway, we're going to say bye over here. And I'll talk to y'all later. Ciao.